Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Droid Life Show today, episode 236. It is Friday, June 26th. I'm your host, Kellen, with me, Tim. Tim, say hi.
Hey guys, how's it going, Timmy? Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this fabulous June Friday. Sunny here in Portland. Hopefully it's not raining on you wherever you are today. We got a good show ahead. 2 weeks worth of topics. Not a ton of crazy stuff going on, but still some stuff. Like OnePlus has our attention once again. They're bringing back the cheap phone. I mean, it's not a cheap flagship, but cheap. So that's fine, I guess. Big iOS news. You know, we're big on the iOS stuff around here. So we'll definitely talk some iOS 14. There's some Google stuff like the Pixel 4a is apparently not dead yet. Samsung news because they still have an event coming. A little bit of LG. And of course, we have trivia as always. End of the show. If you're new around here, we do trivia and 5 questions. And we'll have 5 prizes for 5 winners. It's pretty good stuff. We do it almost every show. So if you're new around here, you should join us more regularly, live anyway, and you could win free stuff. Trivia this week is brought to you by Nimble. Now, you guys may remember Nimble. Yes. A few weeks ago, we gave away some of their stuff, and we're back with more of their stuff. What wireless charging stands from Nimble?
Yes, we have 5 wireless stands from Nimble. These are awesome. I use one downstairs near the TV, and I absolutely love them. So the big thing that Nimble is doing right now, the big news for Nimble is that they are now carried in Verizon stores. I think Verizon stores are opening back up, but even if you can't find them in store, they are online at Verizon.com. You can get cables, USB-C, wireless charging pads, portable power banks, and USB-C wall chargers. And like the big thing about Nimble, why we love Nimble is that they're very eco-conscious. So all their things are from recycled plastics and papers and all their packaging. Every time you buy a product, you get a e-waste recycling bag. You just fill it in with crap that you don't need from your junk drawer, like chargers or cables that you don't use. Send it off, they'll recycle it. So that's all good stuff for the ecosystem, for the environment, etc. So Nimble, shout out to Nimble, we love you.
Yeah, we certainly do. Especially everything they sort of stand for and they try to do.
Yeah.
So that's trivia. So we'll give away a bunch of wireless charging stands from Nimble. We also want to give another shout out to these fine chairs that we've been sitting in. That we've been sitting in for a while now. I mean, a couple of months, I think. So eWin, you guys have probably heard about eWin. We've talked about them before. They hooked both Tim and I up with chairs, which I plan to sit in for a long time. I mean, at this point, it's broken in.
Oh yeah,
ready for my rear and anything. So we talked about them before, but they make chairs for. I mean, they're big in the gaming scene, but just as a general office chair, pretty good. I mean, that's what I mostly use it for. I don't game quite as much as Tim, but so I use it for mostly just office-y stuff. Absolutely love it. You probably game a little bit more in yours.
Oh man, I game a lot. Obviously, I work. I don't know if you use this chair, because your work setup is behind you, and I don't know if you use the eWin chair, but I use this for gaming, working, playing guitar now. So it's pretty much my go-to chair, and it's super broken in. This back support pillow's been getting a lot of usage, and man, I really like my chair.
Does it get used in Tato Reacts? Is it the channel chair for that? Oh, it is. Okay.
Absolutely. eWin has not sponsored any content on my reaction channel, which recently hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Wild. But it's good. Maybe they'll hook me up with another chair for that channel. We'll see. Not that I need it, but.
So if you need a new chair for any of the stuff we just talked about, we still have the code DroidLife at eWin. And it gets you 20% off. Also, just looking at the site right now, they're running a 4th of July sale, which I think is around 15%, but you can double up on top of the 4th of July sale to get the 20% with Droid Life. For example, this chair that I'm sitting in is down to like $239. So $239. That's a pretty good deal. I think your chair might be sold out, but they have lots of options.
Yeah, my particular model is sold out, but it would be 20% off of low 300, so it would be like high 200 something. I think mine's a little different because mine has some type of different back support or something, I think, but or a different material. But both are fine chairs. Eddie in the chat says, I'm actually looking for a new chair. Are they comfy to sit in all day? Like, that's what I literally sit in mine all day.
Same.
And
Yep.
I've had previous racing gaming chairs because I like the aesthetic, but they weren't very comfortable. However, this one I've had no problems with. I can peel it back and like it's actually comfortable, and I wouldn't BS you on that. So
I sit
give it a
all day
shot.
too. It's really comfortable.
Yeah, if you hate it, return it. Because I mean, chairs are very like, if they're not comfortable for you, then they're not comfortable for you, right? So what's comfortable for me, I probably have a different body type than you, so it's gonna be different for everyone. But I can tell you, at least it's comfy for me, and I got pretty skinny like back and butt, so give it a shot.
Todd asked, do they have armrests that would make it difficult in holding a guitar? I mean, they have armrests that you can move in and out of the way. So,
Yeah. So they do have like the arm rests are extremely maneuverable, right? Like they rotate in and out. So whenever I'm doing guitar, it's not that it depends on how you hold the guitar, right? Are you doing it like in the classical sense where it's in between your legs, or just resting on your right leg or left leg, I guess, depending on if you're left or right-handed. But I just scooch forward a little bit and it's totally fine. Like the base is very sturdy, so I don't feel like I'm going to tip forward. It's good for guitar, but again, it's going to depend on how you hold the guitar and also the shape of your guitar. If you have a V, it'll be perfect, but so it's going to depend. Good luck.
So anyway, Nimble with the trivia. Shout out Ewan, Droid Life, 20% off. Yeah. Before we get going though, donations. We had quite a few before we actually started. So Charles W with $10 before the show started said, out flying today. We'll catch this in post, but definitely keep the party going. Droid Life team and community peace. Love you, Charles. Always good to see you around. Sarah Washington with $2 and dropped the BLM. Love you as well, Sarah. Always appreciate
BLM,
you
baby.
hanging out with us. Ryan Kerr dropped 40. What are these again?
They look like rupees.
Is that?
Let's find out.
Says, loving my new Surface Pro 10. Yep. Safe weekend, everyone. 40 rupees. Is that what you just said?
Yep. Indian rupees. Thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Ben Jacobs, $2 says, happy Friday. Wife and I bought a house. Life's Congratulations on the
nice,
house,
dude.
Ben.
That's awesome.
Huge.
Loving it.
What a scary thing, but what a rewarding thing as well.
Totally stressful, but what a good time to buy, man. Rates have never been better. Well, I'm sure they've been better, but they're pretty darn good right now. So congratulations, Ben. Hope you got hooked up good.
Pretty low rates, yeah.
Huge,
Javi Martinez, $10 donation. That's a big donor. Thank you, Javi.
Javi, thank you very much, man. Huge dono. Ben Jacob says, a big step in life. Yeah, you're super adulting now, so congratulations on that. And then shower broken on the first day. Yeah, welcome to house ownership. And there's no one to call. No. Right? You got to like rely on yourself. So get yourself a nice little toolkit and you'll be good. Duct tape. Duct tape has been my greatest ever since buying a house. Like you just got to buy duct tape, load up on it. Caulking. You need caulking for everything. Get yourself some paint. It's good times, man.
It is. The amount of crap you'll fill your house up with that you've used once is also quite astonishing. So
totally.
So congrats. All right, let's dive into some topics. So
cool.
Again, things are, not popping off like normal in the news industry because look, we're still in the midst of a global pandemic. There's not a lot of phones coming out, teams are remote, all that stuff. Anyway, we still got some stuff. Like OnePlus has officially confirmed that they have a new phone coming. They also confirmed that it will be an affordable smartphone. Unfortunately, it's looking like limited availability to start. But OnePlus CEO Pete Lau said, yes, we're bringing back an affordable phone at premium experience still. And, we think we know specs. Like we think it'll have a 6.5 inch 90 hertz OLED and a Snapdragon 765 and 60 gram and 128 gig storage and a big battery and triple camera and all that stuff. We think we know the specs sound pretty good. We just hope that the price is, 400, sub 400. We've talked a little bit about this, but they've actually confirmed that, yes, it's coming. The only thing is they said they're launching it first in India and Europe. So look, we're in the US. We cover US news mostly. It's not the greatest news ever because I do want a $400 OnePlus phone to play with, to tell you about. I want you to be able to buy it. Especially because the Pixel 4a is not. Yeah. So they said it's launching first there. They obviously have left it open to coming to America at some point. So I would hope that it would. I mean, the US is one of their big markets, so I can't imagine they're not going to do
It absolutely has to, man. If
that.
it,
Right?
like this phone, like how do you tease going back to your roots, as an inexpensive device, but with flagship specs, and then not release it for the US? I mean, that's what the market here, at least, is like always clamoring for. That's why the Pixel 3a line seemed to do very well. Good experience at an inexpensive price. With everyone releasing $1,000 phones, like why would you not jump on the opportunity to like get those people, get those buyers? So
I
it'd
mean,
be
look
a
at the excitement around
dumb
the
play.
iPhone SE. Like if
Oh
OnePlus
God.
goes, "Hey, we'll do a premium phone and it's for like mostly premium, I should say." And at $400. The crazy thing is if the specs are right, like if the specs really are the Snapdragon 765, which is what we expect to be in like the Pixel 5, which is in Samsung's new A71 5G, we're talking a premium chip that's just below the 865. And if they actually do that and drop it in at like $400, we're talking insane. And I know like the pricing is just rumor. That's complete rumor.
Sure.
But if it's a 400, like it might be the phone that everyone should just buy. Again, depending on that price.
It totally could be. I'm excited for the potential of it, but again, like OnePlus does weird things. So I'm not even like, and now I'm cautiously optimistic about
Yeah.
it. I was like super pumped. Now I'm just slightly optimistic. Uh, just, I will talk about the Pixel 4a too, I know, but Google is sort of upsetting me. Like the timing of all of this is just terrible, obviously, and they can't help that with COVID. But we would love just maybe a bit more teasing about things or
Yeah.
somewhat transparency. I don't know. Something's
I think
going
we were
on.
just expecting the Pixel 4a to have come and gone. And not necessarily gone
Months
as in we don't
ago.
care, but like come reviewed. We tell you if it's cool or not. And then it's just there as like one of your options. And it's still not here. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But this was the phone that was probably going to compete with it, we think. And this might just stomp on the Pixel 4a depending on price. So in a bit of like a weird twist, they opened up this Instagram account, OnePlus did, as they were announcing this news about a new phone coming. And it's called like the Instagram, what is it? OnePlus Lite Z thing or something like that. They're trying to make this sort of joke Instagram account to help promote it, which is whatever. OnePlus does some weird things. And in doing so, they posted a bunch of images to start. And somebody noticed that one of the pictures, I think Carl Pei is actually in the picture. And somebody's holding like a card that says, here's to the first 100. And I think it's probably talking about like the first 100 people that are going to get this thing. I don't know what. It looks like he's in a bathroom, I think. But the back of the card says NORD as in Nord, which I think it means North, but Nord. And so there was this rumor previously before we saw this that Nord might be a potential name for it. And so now everyone's going, oh, it's called the OnePlus Nord. Whereas before there was a OnePlus 8 Lite rumor, which the Lite name, no one ever uses that anymore because it's awful. We had kind of settled on OnePlus Z. Now everyone thinks it's OnePlus Nord. To be honest, I don't think there's any way in hell this thing is called OnePlus Nord.
I hate the name.
It is awful.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It makes no sense. I mean, they had the OnePlus Z, which made more sense. What was the other one? The OnePlus. What was the other one? Lite, LITE.
Yeah, no one names their phones Lite anymore because it sounds awful.
Yeah.
Or did Samsung just do that? They might have just done that.
And no comment. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But OnePlus Z would have been totally fine because
Totally
OnePlus
fine.
X was taken. So OnePlus Z totally, or OnePlus Y. I don't know, like something cool. You could have done something cool better than Nord. Not that I'm trying to be like a grouchy old man who complains about everything tech, but like, I don't know, the name just kind of sucks. That's all. Just kind of boring. No big deal.
It does. So who knows if this is actually a name, if whatever. But we know they have an affordable phone coming. We think the specs look good. We're assuming sometime in July because June's almost over. They haven't announced like an event or anything. They just said something's coming, which is cool. So OnePlus. It is going to be a little bit weird to see OnePlus possibly swoop in and announce a new phone before Google. Whereas like, we've talked about this 4A. We thought it was coming a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, if OnePlus does release this thing, I mean, so what the post we've already have it pre-written up. We're just kind of waiting for it. But the OnePlus, whatever it's called, just destroyed the Pixel 4a.
Yeah.
Like I mean, because we know, right? Like it's probably going to be an overall better experience. While the Pixel 4a will likely, well, most definitely have a better camera experience. I
Yeah.
mean, the Google just can't. They don't seem to want to compete, at least on the spec front. They're more about the software experience, which
Right.
OnePlus is too. They got good software, but I mean, OnePlus just shoves the good specs down your throats, right? Like this cheap phone will probably have like 8 gigs of RAM. So, I mean, who knows? It's good times though. I like little mid-range phone battles. I'm all about that life.
Well, and mid-range phones have gotten so good that it's probably fine for most people. And
Totally.
spending $1,000 on a phone is never going to be a fun thing. So I'm fine if a bunch of companies want to create this sort of 400 to 500 range again, and we just hang out there and have good phones that take pretty good pictures, and the performance is great. So,
Yeah, I used to think I needed a phone that could run Fortnite, run PUBG, or whatever,
right.
run Call of Duty. But like, nah, those gaming on mobile sucks. Like, unless it's an actual game designed for mobile, like Tiny Wings, that we'll talk about here in a little bit because we're going to talk about iPhones. But I just don't need. I
Do
don't need
most
all
people
that
need all
stuff.
that? Yeah.
I don't think so. Most people, no. If you really want that stuff, maybe just like get a gaming phone, right? Get an Asus or who is it? Someone else coming out with a gaming phone, but maybe just get those. I don't know. Like, do we need $1,400 Samsung Galaxy Ultras? I don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
know
they're
either.
decent
And
phones, like, but
we're talking all the HDR10s and the special Dolby this and that and audio. Like it's a little screen. I don't know if we need that stuff. I don't
yeah.
use any of it. I don't think. Like we talk a lot about it. And we're like, yeah, it's cool. It's got this. I don't think.
But do I
I don't
use it?
consider myself a phone super user. Like we evaluate phones sort of for the everyday user and make recommendations based on that. But
Yeah.
when you start talking about like, do I use all of the stuff in this Galaxy S20? Not a chance.
Yeah.
And it's $1,000 phone. So
They're
I think,
expensive.
well, and the only problem is you often have to pay that to get the best camera. So
Mm.
that's kind of, and taking good pictures on my phone is really important. So that's a topic for probably a really lengthy write up at some point.
Man, we shall see.
All right, let's talk about Apple though, because love this. So Apple
Tiring.
held their WWDC event, which is typically their developer event that they would do in person, but obviously everything's canceled. So they held an online event where they really just posted a video, and everyone watched it, and they unveiled a bunch of stuff. So they talked everything from iOS to Mac OS to iPad OS to whatever, watch OS, all of that stuff. But in watching the iOS stuff, they did some stuff that, and I don't necessarily want to get into like, oh, Apple just copied everything from Android. I'm kind of tired of that because we did that for a while. Like we laughed at them when they took all of Android's ideas. But, Google's taken some of their stuff. And, at this point, Tim, everyone should just be happy. And so I'm not even mad that should we run down some of this list?
Let's do it.
All right. So Apple adopted, the app jukebox. My favorite thing, the app jukebox is,
You love it.
it's not gone, but we have organization, and we basically have an app drawer where now they're going to do some things where they auto sort all of your apps, which I would not like. Like if an Android phone auto sorted my apps into categories, I would not be happy. But they're doing that, but you can also just kind of search and get an alphabetized list of your apps instead of thumbing through 17 pages on your expensive iPhone that you've owned for 3 years. So we have an app drawer. They call it app library. We have widgets, which they're calling widgets. So widgets on home screens and actual screens, not just in the notification area or wherever the hell they were putting them before. Actual widgets. Their UI for widgets looks way better than Android's. Just going to say that. Like, it actually looks like they spent some time making it look not awful. Like, when was the last time you tried to add a widget on your Android phone and you went, what is this ancient looking grid thing? Like, it's not pretty. All the Android manufacturers need to look into that. But their widgets, they're not quite as flexible, I would say, as they are on Android phones. But they come in standard sizes, like 2x2s and things like that. And one of the cool things they did though is you can kind of create your own. So you could stack widgets on top of each other. So if you want to have just one widget at the top of your main screen, you could have that be your calendar and weather and whatever. You can have it be a bunch of things. Totally one of those things I wish Android would steal, because I don't necessarily like having 16 different widgets on a home screen. But if I could swipe through one like you can, kind of cool. So anyway, they took widgets finally. They brought picture in picture to the iPhone, which not a big deal, except they did a couple of cool tweaks to it. You can pinch to zoom on your picture in picture to make it bigger or smaller. Like why can't you do that on an Android phone?
It's genius.
And then you can swipe it off to the edge, and the video that you had playing will continue playing in the background. You'll hear audio, but the screen just goes off to the edge while you do whatever you're doing on your phone. And then you can swipe it back out again. Pretty great idea that I wish Google would, copy. They're doing on-device speech to text now. So it should be faster, just like Google's phones are. They're improving their maps. Google has, or Android has this thing called instant apps, which no one knows anything about because no one implemented it in anything. And Apple copied it by creating this thing called app clips, which actually looks cool. Like somebody might use it, and they're little tags that you could put around the world, like to quickly rent a motorized scooter or to pay for your food at a restaurant or whatever. They're kind of NFC-ish. They're kind of tag based. They only install a portion of an app, and everything's auto filled through Apple's whatever their APIs. It sounds great, and it'll probably get adopted because Apple did it, unlike Android's version. It's iOS is getting there in terms of some customization where Android is. This is one of the first times in a while where I looked at it and was like, this stuff's actually really cool. Like, there's some stuff I wish Android would copy. I'm not going to make the switch to iOS, but this stuff actually looks kind of cool.
It doesn't look bad at all. I would use it. I was sort of waiting to see like what the next kind of big iPhone iteration would be, and then I would like almost consider it, just because like the Android thing is just kind of like slow right now, and it would really give me a reason to get onto BGR as an Android blogger for the past 10 years. Switching to iPhone for a month or something, but. Just to try. I know iOS has its issues, but like, hey, at least it's pretty. It'd just be kind of cool just to switch things up, right? I mean, it's not bad to switch things up and maybe get a little different perspective on things. But I mean, at the same time, I'm just so engulfed in the Google ecosystem. It's like I'm not going to go spend $100 on apps that I already got on Google and all that. Right. But it'd be nice just to play some Tiny Wings, but. I own that one at least. Like I still got the receipt for that years ago when I was on iOS for, was that like a month or something? But yeah.
So they had their big moment and they, announced a bunch of stuff. I mean, it's one of those things where I think it's great for iOS users. They finally get an actual app organization and widgets and some stuff that we've had. I mean, an app drawer and widgets are almost original features to Android. So, it's good to have you guys as part of the group.
The widgets look good. Like, let's take a second to, I get that they're extremely simplified and like I kind of thought they already existed, but they look good. They look good.
One of the cool things they're doing, which will probably never happen on Android, if you have AirPods and let's say you're on your iPhone and a call comes in, right? Take the call on your AirPods, you hang up the call and you go and you pick up your tablet or your iPad, and it's also running iOS 14. Your AirPods will automatically switch from your phone to your iPad just because you're using one. And so I'm assuming it'll work going back. So if you put your iPad down, grab your phone, leave the house, it'll automatically switch or whatever. Like those things are cool. And I'm just not sure like Google controls enough of anything to make that happen. There's obviously an opportunity maybe for a Pixel phone with Pixel buds and a Chromebook or something to do that. But let's be honest, that's Nobody owns a Chromebook.
Yeah. Eli says something, really good. He says, we need the iOS guy that used to do podcasts with you. Yeah, man. Ron would be a good guy to bring back just to get his perspective on things. I have no idea if
Didn't Ron switch back
is
to Android though?
really. Yeah. See, I don't know.
Why did
I
I
have
think
no
like
idea.
at one point I thought he switched back? I thought he picked up like a Pixel 3a and made the switch back. I swear
That's
he did something like that.
totally possible.
Like I thought somebody told us Ron switched back and we went, wait, what? And then I think we creeped on his Twitter and I think you found like he had a 3A or something.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, hey, 3A is a solid device, so it totally wouldn't shock me.
It is. One of the things iOS 14 did that we expect Google to do with Android 11 is they created this, you can take your phone and tap on the back and it'll launch things. So this was actually out at Android 11 a while ago. I think we first saw it maybe in February, I think even before we got a developer preview. And then we saw it again in March, and it would be a double tap on the back and it could, I don't know, launch Google Assistant or an app or the camera or whatever you wanted to. It could snooze alarms, things like that. So Apple actually baked this into iOS 14. We thought Google was going to do it with Android 11, but it's not in the beta yet. So iOS 14 has that. And they have kind of a step further. You can double tap or triple tap, and it'll let you do any number of tasks, which is kind of cool. But I guess technically they got there before Google did because they actually included it.
Come on, Google, pick it up.
Yeah. So anyway, iOS 14, lots of new stuff that we'll probably never play with.
It's totally possible. Hey, if the new iPhone is awesome, then why not,
That is true.
Here I
could
come,
be very,
BGR.
Could be very awesome. All right, so let's talk Google for a second and Pixel 4a. So Pixel 4a, we mentioned earlier, it's still not available. We thought we would have reviewed it and told you if it was cool or not. We still don't know if or when it's coming, but it's stopped by the FCC this week with 3 different model numbers, but still just one phone. So kind of like 3 SKUs, but one device, if that makes sense. We kind of are over the idea of a Pixel 4a XL, which again is weird and we've talked about, but it's just a 4a. Probably in black or blue. I don't actually think there's a white one at this point. I've seen no evidence of that. It stopped there. It's a 4G LTE phone. The FCC didn't reveal much at all. It just kind of put it back on our radar because we've been wondering, like, Google, are you ever going to do this? So if it's at the FCC, maybe. The only thing to keep in mind there is that when Google stuff hits the FCC, it often doesn't mean it's coming like next week. They've pushed stuff through the FCC before and we don't see it for months. So I don't know that you should get ready for an announcement like next week, but maybe sometime this summer. It's so weird, dude. I just do not get it at all. I know there's some rumors that maybe they've just kind of delayed it because the pandemic and they're just not sure anyone wants to buy phones and all that. Like Apple did that though. Apple released the iPhone SE, which is what this phone will compete against. And people apparently were really excited. And I don't know if they bought a lot. I don't know that we've seen Apple's numbers on all of that stuff, but it got a lot of talk because people still want to talk about this stuff. And then we're also talking about where people don't have a ton of money maybe, and they might buy a $400 phone or $350, which I think was the last price we saw, versus $1,000 S20s. It actually seems like the perfect opportunity for Google to release this phone. Just like how we talked about with OnePlus coming back and releasing a cheaper phone. It's actually the best time, I would think, to do that. But
yeah, a lot of people who were able to take, say, their $1,200 stimulus check and spend it on, or, in boosting their local economy or whatever, because they continue to have employment through the pandemic. I mean, I know I just spent the money. So some people have excess money that they might want to spend on a toy like a phone. And what's nice about it being inexpensive is that it's not a huge chunk of, say, a stimulus check. And say we have a second round coming potentially, maybe, possibly. Who knows? Not that it matters, but the fact that, people like having new things to play with, say if they're stuck at home or just to get their mind off whatever it is, right? People like having new stuff to play with. America, the consumers, they got to have new stuff. So a pandemic's not going to stop them from wanting to buy new things. So it's whatever. So I say release it. Stop delaying.
I wish they would too.
Yeah, just do what Apple did. Do some fancy little pre-recorded video, make it look fancy. You're one of
Yes.
the richest companies on the planet.
Yes.
I mean, just do it. So
And who knows? Maybe it's a combination of they don't want to spend the money on advertising for this and all that. Like, I get all that stuff. But I mean, if you wait too much longer, it's just going to be dead on arrival. Like, if you wait, like, let's say they wait until the Pixel 5 drops. Like,
yeah,
let's
you
say
don't
the Pixel
cannibalize
5's
your own sales.
Yeah, like let's say the
Yeah.
Pixel 5's still on target for, I don't know, an October launch like they always do. You really going to combine a 4A and a 5 launch? Like that doesn't make sense. Are you just going to scrap the 4A? It's very weird, and I'm not really sure what the hell they're doing. They've never said, "Yes, we're making a 4A." They didn't say that.
Right.
They just said we're making Pixel phones still, and we stand behind them. So we know they're making more. But this phone seems like it's been done for a couple of months. Like it seems like it's been ready for a while.
Dude, I mean, we've seen the packaging.
Yeah.
We've seen packaging. We've seen the phone. We've got camera samples. We've got everything. The software is ready to go. So why not just release the effing thing? It's so
Give it to
annoying.
us. I'm ready.
And if they
I just
push
wanted to.
yeah, and if they have to push this one, or if they push the Pixel 5 in order to accommodate for this late release, like that's gonna piss me off too. So they just need to hurry up and release this thing. That way we aren't eating into potential Pixel 5 sales. I still think the Pixel 5 is sort of slated to like just have a bad release in general. So, I mean, it's probably it might be too expensive. Who knows? I mean, I feel like we know very little still about the Pixel 5, and Google's really bad about keeping things under wraps. Maybe because everyone's working from home. Like, no one's at the Google offices, right? Like they're just saying, hey, if you don't want to go in, don't go in. But it's just weird.
You know, we just hit the year anniversary of them showing off the Pixel 4 for the first time. Remember that last year where out of nowhere
they were talking about Solly and
no, well, it was even before that. Remember they just randomly tweeted, so we heard you talking about a new Pixel or something. And they
and it was
tweeted
the
that
black
picture.
one.
Yeah, it was the black one where they had split it diagonally. That was a year ago. And
then you put it together, and that blew
full
up.
phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a year ago they did that, and then they talked about Solly, and now we don't know. They haven't said anything. Maybe they will soon.
Brandon Fisher asks in the chat, are they afraid people can't go to the store and play with it to get it? I wouldn't think so, but then again, like things are opening up, right? I mean, at least in some states, even to their own destruction. Things are opening back up. So, I mean, if they were waiting for some type of phase where people can go into a carrier store or Best Buy or whatever, now seems like an okay time to do it. Not that I recommend anyone going outdoors, without proper face protection and all that. But I don't know. Now seems like an okay time, right? Things were looking good.
Yeah,
now things aren't looking good at all. So I don't know, man. Just release the phone. Who cares? You think like it doesn't seem to have affected Apple, with the SE at all that we know of, right? There's still plenty of hype, at least in our industry circles. So
yeah,
I don't know. Kellen and I
just want them to release it so we can see.
Exactly.
Don't they have bajillions of dollars in the bank? Come on, they could take a little hit if it doesn't work.
Yeah, take a hit on it. Come on, Google. Your shareholders won't care. Take a hit.
No, they won't at all.
And the Pixel needs like a win or two, so they're
does.
probably playing it pretty safe right now. I mean, they're just gonna have to kill the Pixel line if they don't have like a good selling phone. I think so.
Might not be a good year for the Pixel line. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, Anthony in the chat says I got my eWin chair using your code. Nice. Thank you, Anthony. Much appreciated, man. I hope it's comfortable on your tushy.
Yeah.
We like comfortable tushies.
We do. Sort of related news, the Android 11 beta got a minor update last week to beta 1.5. No new features or anything. It just addressed some bugs. So if you're on the beta, be sure to grab that. Google also sort of talked about last week a couple of features that are coming to Android 11 that aren't really there yet. This stuff's sort of boring, but if you're the type of person that gets new phones a lot or sets new phones up a lot, or even if you just do it once a year and you hate that process, they've created a couple of things. One's called One Tap and one's called Block Store. And again, this is kind of nerdy developer stuff, but they're letting you finally set things up much more in a much more automated fashion than in the past, where they'll actually store credentials and they're encrypted and they'll pass from one device to the next and automatically sign you in. And it could be amazing. Because right now, setting up an Android phone actually sucks. Like going into every single app and tapping, and hopefully your autofill works, and half the time it doesn't. And getting the right passwords, it's kind of a pain, and they're going to try to fix that. And then this one tap thing, so that was called Block Store. One tap just means that when you sign into an app for the first time or open an app, they'll just let you click a button. That's why it's called one tap. And it'll just create an encrypted like sign in token for you for that app. It sounds very cool. Anyway, that's just two problems they've kind of worked on fixing that weirdly I'm excited for, just because, well, I set up phones all the time. But.
Yeah.
Let's see. We also got news last week, or at least a rumor of a Google Home replacement. So the original Google Home. I don't think you can see mine behind me. Nope, you can't. So yeah, thanks. Yeah, Tim's got one right there. The original one, the original Google Home will probably finally, after all these years, the thing's like what, 3 years old, 4? I don't even know. It's pretty old. Will be replaced with a Nest branded version that will probably be more expensive because it's going to have better audio. It'll probably more match, the aesthetic that we've got going on with other Google products. There'll probably be cloth all over it. It'll probably come in various different colors. It's currently codenamed Prince. Supposedly for the Prince you guys are thinking of. Obviously, this is music related of. No display or anything, but larger speaker drivers and all that. I think this is a smart move because the Mini, we know the audio in the Mini's not great, right? It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to just be a little guy you tuck everywhere. And I know they improved the Nest Mini audio, but then the Max is just really expensive. They've dropped it permanently to $300, and sometimes you can find it for $250. That's still a lot of money. I mean, $400, $250, whatever. That's a lot of money for a speaker that most people probably don't want to spend. But if they replace it with the sort of middle version, like if this thing's $150, $170, that's better than $300. So, and if it sounds great, and maybe you could pair them like you can with two Google Maxes, I think it's long overdue. So exciting that they're coming out with a new, basically base model Google Home.
I'm totally down for it. Not that I don't know where I would put it, because a lot of the speakers that I had, I've replaced with displays, because I was like, a display might be better there. Like in the kitchen, Nest Hub Max, being able to see recipes and all that, where it used to be just a regular Google Home.
Right.
Yeah, but now, I can have like the video there from the doorbell or whatever. So
Right.
We'll see. I'm not sure where I'll put it. I'm sure I'll find a spot, though.
I think if it has a really big focus on just being audio and having really good audio, it'd be great as just a bookshelf speaker sort of thing.
Totally.
So so it's exciting. We haven't had the regular. We're still, again, Tim has one right there. I have one on my desk. The original still exists, which is very weird. Well, you can't really buy it now, but it's had quite the run. That's for sure.
It has. It's kind of getting old. Two comments I want to touch on here. Brandon in the chat says audio on the Nest Wi-Fi point is pretty good. That's because it's a Nest Mini second gen or first gen. It's just a Nest Mini inside, so it's got the improved bass. I mean, it should be solid in terms of audio quality. And then also Eddie says Google has made me afraid to buy a Google Home since they give me one for free every 3 months for some reason or another. That's true. Like, you got to be careful when you're buying these Google Nest Minis or whatever, because like Google's just handing them out for any old, like if you're a Google One subscriber, a YouTube Premium subscriber, like whatever, they're just handing these things out like hotcakes. So yeah, you be careful buying new little Google Homes and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote an article, I think 2 years ago that said, please do not ever pay full price for a Google Home product because they're constantly discounted. And I still stand by that. You should never pay full price for any of the Google Home things. Because, they either give them to you for free or they're running a special on them. Like right now, I think the Nest Mini, or it was $29 or something. It was another $20 off. So, don't ever pay full price.
I just assume it's because they just have warehouses full of like inventory and stuff. You can always get them at discount. I mean, something like QVC's got them for like $20 sometimes. Just who knows, man. Yeah. But it's a good thing because, I mean, why not have these it was like the Chromecast, right? There was a point in time where like everybody had a Chromecast. What, they were like $29 or something? Like, why would you not own a Chromecast? You can just cast everything to your TV.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
They were $35, and then they kept going on sale for what, like $25 or $20 or whatever.
Everybody had a Chromecast. Yeah. Like, I mean, when they're inexpensive and they're cool, like, why not? So I'm all for it.
Final bit of Google news. Google Photos got a major, well, I don't think anyone has the update yet. They announced a major update to Google Photos. The UI is changing to where you'll have a photos section on the bottom, a search section, and library. Kind of cleans it up a little bit. You'll also be able to sort of look at a map of where all of your photos were taken if you have that turned on. The map view actually looks kind of cool. Well, we got a new icon, a new logo. It's more flowery, whereas before it was a little sharp and jagged. I actually like the new logo a lot.
It's not bad.
Whereas I'm not in love still with the Google Maps new icon. I like the new Google Photos one. The old one was just a little too sharp for my taste.
I was going to say, Nick says, I got the new update. And then he's like, meaning the icon changed. Yeah, like this morning, I was like, I was super excited because I had a Google Photos update. And I was like, oh, here we go, baby. Because I want that map view.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, but of course, nope, just the icon changed. And I said, Google, like, can we go back to the way it used to be, like the good old days where they announce an update and everybody gets it? It's just...
I really wish they would. So yeah, there is an update this morning that I think almost everyone got for Google Photos. And it changes to the new icon, but none of the new UI is there. Yeah, so we're just assuming the map and the UI are server-side changes, so we'll probably get them, someday.
Why is Google such a hypocrite? Like, they do this server-side nonsense, and so the user isn't in control, right? And they got mad at Facebook for doing this. Facebook did server-side changes, and they would get mad at them like, hey, you can't do that. You have to go through Google Play. Google, practice what you preach, my guys. Like, come on. If you're going to make an update available, just make it available. Like, I don't want to see this new icon, open it up and see my old janky 4-tab layout. Like, I want 3 tabs and I want map view.
Thought I was getting something new.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It was super let down. Super let down.
Yeah, because I woke up this morning and and I could see in the list of updates, I could see the new icon. I went, yes, I got it. And then I updated. I didn't get it.
I'm sure it'll be here soon enough. We're just super impatient.
Yes, we are. All right, let's switch gears. A little Samsung talk. So Ice Universe, who is a Samsung leaker, typically just on Twitter, posted an image of what he believes is Galaxy Fold 2, which it makes a lot of sense. And this is the phone I want this year. The Pixel phones will probably be fine. I want the Galaxy Fold 2 so badly. And then when he showed pictures of what we think it might be, I'm like, I'm all in.
Totally.
He showed an idea of a phone fully opened up and just a single hole punch camera, not in the corner, but sort of like a third of the way in from the right. And that's because on the back side, you'll have a big camera housing. And on the flip side of the other side, you'll have the front cover display, which looks full screen, and also a hole punch camera on that. There's really nothing else to talk about other than this looks so, if this really is what it looks like, and I think he's just kind of mocking up what it could look like, but if this is the design, sign me up now. Yeah,
we're in for a good old time if this is it.
I cannot. It's probably still going to be $2,000, and that is gonna hurt. Hopefully I can trade in 17 phones to help with that price, but
yeah, if they accept Galaxy Z Flip trade-ins, we got one of those. Can't even sell the thing.
That's going to be the first thing we're going to check, is to see if you can trade in that Z Flip.
Yeah, if anyone wants to buy a Galaxy Z Flip, we'll take a huge hit on it. We just don't need it anymore.
Yeah. So anyway, Fold 2, obviously we still think that's coming early August in an online reveal for a big unpacked. Another device we should see around that time is the Galaxy Watch 3, and this is my 30 seconds of watch talk. Galaxy Watch 3, we've seen it twice now. A couple of hardware pictures of it with no straps on, both small and large size, shows kind of the rotating bezel, one sort of with the teeth version and one more smooth. Looks kind of like a Watch Classic. And then we also saw renders from EvLeaks of like press renders where it looks much more like a classic watch, whereas the Active looks like a sport watch. I think I got 10 seconds left. And a leather strap. So Samsung will probably position this more as a dress it up a little bit smartwatch versus the Active, which is probably fine.
I'm totally for that. I want more fancy, like your Mont Blanc Sommier 2. Like that's that's the kind of smartwatch I want. I don't need one where, like, God forbid, I don't like run and bike everywhere I go. Like, why does everything have to be fitness oriented? Like, I get it, it's good for you, but like, I'd rather just have a nice dress up watch. So I'm fine with something having leather straps, or or I can attach like a nice canvasy strap to it that looks good. Like, I don't want rubber, silicone, gets sticky, looks stupid. Like it's like like a little kid's watch. So just give me something nice, man. Conrad Phillip with the $5 donation says, "What's good, gents? BLM. Yep, 100%. BLM. We're good. We're hanging in there. It's getting a little hot around these parts.
It's getting hot.
It's getting nice. Getting real nice.
Dono.
Much appreciated, Conrad. Thank you."
Yeah, so the Galaxy Watch 3 will be great, I'm sure. And you make a good point that not everyone is a fitness bro who doesn't need the sport watch. They want a nice thing that maybe does some smart things. And, maybe this is the one. This is that one.
Yeah, I was going to look at this leak again. Yeah, this doesn't look too bad. I mean, totally. Yeah, it's nice.
Looks fine. A couple of different sizes. You can get 41 mil, so it won't be huge.
41 mils. That's actually a nice little idea.
Pretty nice size.
Yeah, I usually kind of sticks around 42, but I'm fine with 41 as long as it's not like 38. Sub 40, like I don't want that.
Well, the thing is, with a smartwatch, if you start getting that small, then the battery is just tiny.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Doesn't really work.
Brandon Fisher says Garmin over Galaxy Watch. Yeah, I think my better half just got has a Garmin because she's been doing a lot more like working out, and she absolutely loves it. So can't go wrong with Garmin, I guess.
I actually gave up the Galaxy Watch Active a long time ago and just went back to my Garmin.
Yeah, I mean, they
just last a week and it gives me the stuff I need, and it's just a much better fitness watch.
Exactly. I never see her plug that thing in. Speaking of, that's a good point.
Battery life must be much better. Yeah, you plug it in once a week, basically, and that's even if you're working out a lot. Yeah. But hey, all right, other Samsung news. Yeah, Nicholas says he loves his watch active too. I loved that watch too. I just got sick of charging it. That was the thing. I just went, I don't need all the fancy stuff if I'm gonna have to charge this thing constantly.
Totally.
So Samsung, we mentioned this earlier, but they made their Galaxy A71 5G official in the US. Now, the A71 was a phone actually from February, I think, was when it first came out. And it wasn't in the US and it wasn't 5G. So they upgraded it a little bit, brought it to the US. It's a $600 phone that runs Snapdragon 765 with 5G, full HD display. Does it have 128 gig storage, 6 gig RAM, also an SD slot, runs Android 10, AC Wi-Fi, big 4,500 milliamp hour battery. It's pretty decked out, and it's got a single hole punch selfie camera. It looks very nice. And the reason I bring it up is, well, number one, is anyone interested in us possibly reviewing this? Because part of me kind of wants to take a look, except I've been hesitant because of it's giant and has a 6.7 inch display. But would you guys be interested? The other thing is, this is kind of a preview, possibly in a way, of what the Pixel 5 might be. Except the Pixel 5 could be less of a phone. And the reason I say that is we think this is the processor that the Pixel 5 will have. But after that, we all know Google kind of cuts corners. So Samsung tends to throw everything at phones. Like this thing has a 64 megapixel main camera and a 12 ultra wide and a 5 macro and a 5 depth. Like it has 4 cameras on the back, a big battery, the storage, and all of that stuff. So Google could do something similar, or if they do, maybe it'll be priced similar. And we did see there was that random Google survey that somebody posted that showed potential cheap Pixel phone at $350, which is why we thought the 4A would be $350, and it said a premium Pixel experience at $699. So with this phone at $599, maybe the Pixel 5 is $699 or maybe even cheaper. And that should get you a little bit excited because and I know some of you do want the 865 and all the specs, but Google doesn't ever give us that. So if Google drops the processor and still goes slack on the rest of the specs, which they always do, and prices it at $600, $700, I think that's a win. They got to do something different. Again, we've talked about this a lot, but they just got to do something different.
Well, they do. We get just the timing of their devices. Every time they would release a new phone with the high-end processor, that high-end processor was outdated within a couple of months anyway because of Qualcomm and the way they announced
Yep.
products. So makes sense just to switch it totally up. I'm with you on that. Rashad says, review it since you reviewed the TCL 10 Pro. Well, I'll tell you, we did not review that phone. Just to clarify, I unboxed it, saw that video caught about 5,000 views on a channel where we nearly have 400,000 subscribers. And I said, nope, not going to do it. So I put it back in its box. Sorry, TCL. Like, I mean, it's a nice little phone. Like, I used it for a few hours and it's nice, but it's just not for me.
It's discounted right now too, right? Can't you get it for $370 or something right now? Something crazy.
Yeah, I swear they're like giving that thing away. And literally we just gave 5 of them away, speaking of which. So
5 of them away.
Yeah, shout out to the 5 people who won a TCL 10 Pro.
Anthony says, I'm so sick of Qualcomm controlling Android. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. We've been saying that for couple of years at least.
Yeah, the rumor from just a couple of months ago that Google was working on their own chip that they would hopefully put in phones one day is quite honestly the biggest potential future news of all time for Android. Because once Samsung backed away, once TI left, all we had and still have is Qualcomm. And Qualcomm makes fine chips. This phone runs great. This S20 runs great. The problem is we get what Qualcomm gives us and everyone has to build around what Qualcomm does. So we don't get to see Samsung go wild. I know they have their Exynos line, but it's kind of been shoved aside and it's even fallen behind a little bit. And I don't know why that is. It would have been nice if Samsung actually tried to like really compete with Qualcomm, but for some reason they didn't. And I don't know that. I'm not really a processor guy and why they couldn't, but if Google were to do it, it would be great just to give another perspective on how this should all work, how a phone should run, maybe what some of the areas of focus are, whatever. And maybe it'll make Qualcomm get better. I don't know. At this point, Qualcomm doesn't have competition. They just do what they do. And we just go, okay, we'll just use whatever Qualcomm is.
Yeah.
So I agree with you 100%, Anthony. I wish there was another option. And not that I think Qualcomm makes bad stuff. It's just, that's all there is. And,
well, yeah, we aren't really fans of monopolies.
Yeah, I like choice and I like to see people innovate and do new things. And Qualcomm they just do whatever they want because they're in control.
It's clearly not an easy market to be in. So
Eddie Daniels says Intel doesn't have Apple anymore, so maybe they'll make a Pixel processor. Yeah, that could be.
They got time. No Seeds B donated $5. Says, damn, I was logged in under my real name. BLM again, gents. Yeah. Well, thank you, No Seeds B again.
Thanks for the second dono there.
Much appreciate.
That's too funny.
Classic.
All right, final topic. LG has confirmed that the Velvet Phone of the Year Velvet is coming to North America. We have no idea when or for how much, but coming weeks, the LG Velvet will show up. The LG Velvet is probably fine. I'm just scrolling back through when they first talked about this. They first showed it off over 2 months ago, Tim. Over 2 months ago.
Jeez.
And then they made it super official. And then it came out in May. Yeah, it came out in early May. And then, here we are now. It's finally come into North America in the coming weeks. And, does anyone care about the LG Velvet?
I do. I still want it. It comes in green, which looks awesome.
Green, that's why.
Yeah. I mean, the specs are fine. It's got the full HD plus 1080 by 2460, the Snapdragon 765, like 5G, 8 gig of RAM. I mean, the camera should be okay. IP68. This is a fine device. It's just LG software needs a lot of help, man. It
LG
just hasn't changed.
60 hertz display.
60 hertz. You're right. Never mind. I don't want this. This ain't the one. This ain't the one. Not for potentially $700 US. Right? That ain't happening.
No. That's another good point though. $700 if that's what it costs. again, the spec list on this phone will probably be similar to what we might see in a Pixel 5.
The Pixel 5.
Except Pixel 5, I can't imagine they're going to not
90
do 90
hertz.
hertz again.
Yeah.
And the 765 totally supports, I think, up to 120 hertz at 1080p. So I'm assuming Google's going to do a higher refresh rate. So $700. I think, yeah, the Pixel 5, we look at this and that Samsung A71, we should expect a Pixel 5 right around there, $700.
Yeah. I did apply to be LG's new president of mobile. Still waiting to hear back. Sent in the old resume. But we'll see. I mean, if they want to start winning, they'll pick me up. They'll add me to the roster. I mean, every year they got someone new. So why not me? Why not me? So we'll see.
All right, that's it for topics. That is it for topics.
I'm on it.
Let Tim get those lights right. Haven't done the trivia dance in a while. It's trivia time. Yeah, we're done with topics. So if you hung out through all of that, we're doing trivia now. Trivia at the end of every show again. We do 5 questions. We'll put each one on the screen, let you read it. Tim will also read it aloud. And you hit the YouTube chat, type the answer, the correct answer, as quickly as you possibly can. And if you are right first, we will call out your name and say that you have won. This is always a weird explanation, but on your screen, you might see things in a different order than we do. I'm sorry. Our connection is the source connection. What we see is the correct order. So we'll call out who's on our screen as being first. And that's pretty much it. Again, question up. Tim will read it. You type the answer. If you're right, you win. And we're giving away, again, wireless chargers from Nimble. Wireless chargers from Nimble.
It's inside this box I would show you, but it's sealed, and I would hate the winners to receive an opened box. That's not cool. So I'm going to keep it closed.
Which I actually sent everyone in our last show. The Motorola folks who won, I had opened some of those boxes. I know you probably noticed that. I promise I didn't use anything. I just looked at them, and then we gave them away. So sorry. I retaped them.
It's fine.
Taped them. I was that guy.
It's free product.
It is free product.
You better not be complaining.
Anything special going on with this trivia, though, Tim?
Oh, there absolutely is. Today, in recognition of iOS 14, this is the Apple edition of trivia. So we've got 5 questions all about Apple, iPhones, iPads, whatever. I'm really looking forward to it. I put this out on my Twitter, so if you're not following me at Timotato, I give people kind of a heads up as to what to expect for trivia. So hopefully everyone brushed up on their Apple knowledge, because we got some goodies in here.
Oh boy, it's good to know.
Yeah, courage. Yeah, dude, courage, 100% courage. Jeez, I can't believe they're so pretentious. Hate Apple. Anyway. Courage. Who says
Speaking of that, I didn't watch the whole event, so somebody can correct me if I'm wrong here. Where was my boy Phil Schiller, Mr. Courage? Where was Phil Schiller? Was he there? Did somebody watch the whole thing where they talked Macs and stuff like that? Was Phil Schiller there? Because he wasn't there for the iOS or the iPad OS.
I didn't. I just assume he's in some underground bunker or chilling on some island with Eric Schmidt or something. I don't know what these guys are doing, but when you're a billionaire, who cares? Just go off to some island and chill, sip some Mai Tais.
Says he's gone. Wait, he's gone? Did he retire? Or did he go somewhere else? Phil Schiller can't be gone.
Google it.
Is he really gone?
Yeah, it still says he's there. Senior VP.
No. He can't be gone. It's Phil Schiller. I would have heard that.
Yeah, he's tweeting out about WWDC day 5. How is it day 5? What the hell?
Day 5.
51 new dev session videos today. Oh my god, these poor Apple developers have to go 5 days of satellite videos. Oh jeez. Anyway.
All right. Anyway, it's Apple trivia time.
Yeah, it is. Enough about Schiller. God. All right. I'm ready for question numero uno.
All right. Question number 1 is up now.
Oh, here's an easy one for you guys. What year was the first iPad introduced? Again, what year was the first iPad introduced? I'm ready for the chat spam.
Here it comes.
Here he comes.
Do people actually know this?
No.
Is that Rashad?
Yep, I'm seeing Rashad Gaddis with the correct answer of 2010. It was the first original iPad.
For 10 years of iPads?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And you wouldn't know it. I mean, they all look identical. Like, just less bezel now. Like, they haven't changed up, which I guess is good, but like...
Less bezel. No more home button, right? The new ones have like 120 hertz display or something, don't they? They're bad. Like the Pro.
Those new Pros are like dope. Yeah. I mean, they're probably better than some MacBooks out there.
Probably.
All right, Rashad Gaddis, man. A lot of people had answers in before Rashad.
They weren't right.
Rashad's just, I think he's been just snatching up prizes left and right, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to Rashad Gaddis.
Yeah, I think he got the Motorola wireless charger that we gave away last time.
Yeah. I'm double checking for Jackson because he said he was ahead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, my man. Just checking real quick. Yeah, we got Rashad coming in 1, 2, 3, 5 ahead of you, Jackson. So you might have to be really quick on the draw. Your connection may not be too strong to us, and we apologize for that. Anyway, moving on. Question number 2, please.
Question number 2 is up now.
This is a toughie. iPhone 6s featured an A9 processor with what marketing name attached to it? So I didn't even know that Apple had names attached. I just thought they were, something like the A9. I thought like that would be its name. But apparently the iPhone 6s featured an A9 processor with what marketing name attached to it? Ah, yes. Zachary Webb with the correct answer of Twister. Had no idea.
Wow.
Zachary Webb, congratulations.
Twister. He's the only one that got that. Oh, somebody wrote Cyclone. Oh, there's
Brian Allen, and there was a Cyclone as well that came either before or after, but yeah, something apparently because they're fast, right? So it makes sense.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Congratulations, Zachary. You won yourself a sweet Nimble wireless charging stand. Rock on, bro.
I know nothing about Apple.
Yeah, I had to Google all of these. So it's all good. I didn't need to Google these next couple, but whatever. Right. All right, I'm ready for question number 3, please.
Question number 3 is up now.
What is the official name of Apple's headquarters in Cupertino, California? I've already given you half the answer. What is the official name of Apple's headquarters in Cupertino, California? There! Woo, Jackson Eater. Yeah, with the correct answer of Apple Park. Very nice.
Yeah, I just assumed it was called Apple Spaceship or something.
Apple Spaceship, yeah. I was really worried Jackson didn't have a good connection there, but he came through with it. Jackson Neitert.
Ben, you were close with the Apple Park double combo there, but
right behind him.
Ahead of you.
Literally right behind him. Congratulations, Jackson. He switched to mobile. Nice, man. See, that's the play. That is the play.
Yeah, you guys know all the tricks.
Yeah, he's a trivia. I would lose. Like, if I was playing this game, I would lose it. I want to know. Excellent. All right. Well, question number 4, please.
Question number 4 is up now.
The iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max offer how much RAM? I was like kind of shocked to learn this. We're just looking for a number if you just want to throw the number out there. The iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max offers how much RAM? Oh, it looks like a ton of people already knew this. Nick Fisher with the correct answer of just 4 gigs. 4 gigs of RAM. And they're faster than the most fastest Android flagships, according to Tim Cook. It's ridiculous.
It is kind of crazy that
it makes me sick.
4 gig RAM, and we complain when something at this point doesn't have 8.
How about the fact, like, when you like rotate an iPhone and it just beautifully and elegantly transitions from like, landscape to portrait, like, and your iPhone or your Android phone's like, get. Like, and I know it's because they got the patent and all that, and like, so they're allowed to do this acceleration stuff. But man, it's just such a better experience flipping a phone.
And that turn to landscape was pretty much on the first iPhone, I think.
And it's only gotten smoother looking.
Like the first iOS product I ever used did that, and I went, this is great. And then the first Android phone I ever used, I was like, why does this look so awful? Because I think I think I had an iPod Touch, I think, before the original Droid. And I'm pretty sure it did that. It rotated super smooth. And I remember getting like the original Droid going, let's turn it. It just went, yeah. And it still does it to this day. That whole is just... Whew.
It's unfortunate. Here, I was going to see if I can do like a little... This app doesn't even like... And that's something, like some apps just, I don't want to rotate today.
I just don't want to. I actually leave
That's just how
auto-rotate
slow
off.
it goes. Oh my God. There's like a 2 seconds. Yeah. Makes me sick. Yep. It's so janky, dude.
That is one of those things. And the touch responsiveness, iPhones are just a little bit different there.
iPhone Live, sister site coming up. Right. All right. Congratulations, Nick Fisher. All right. Last question here. We've got one more wireless charger stand. So let's.
Right, question 5 is up now.
Who produced the processor that powered the original iPhone? Again, who produced the processor that powered the original iPhone? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
This is big.
Chris Williams. Chris Williams with the correct answer. And Bertzer, you were right behind him, man, but we got to go with Chris Williams, the correct answer of Samsung. Chris Williams. Congratulations. Samsung.
TIO map.
Yeah, I saw TI and OMAP. I wanted to laugh, but it's all right. TI. OMAP.
It's crazy the rivalry of Samsung and Apple for all these years. Because how much stuff does Samsung probably still make for them? I know Apple will one day try to rid themselves completely of Samsung, but like their displays forever, right? Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
It just seems always like very like the fight between them seems very superficial. Like I mean, like everyone, you all need each other to make your products. Like,
because no one else just constantly just S's on each other like that, right? Like Google and Samsung and like LG and Samsung. Like, why don't LG and Samsung hate each other? That should be the ultimate rivalry, and they don't care. Because
they're neighbors, like if they had a real thing, like literally, like I think everyone in South Korea is either employed by Kia, Samsung, or LG. So like that would be like family versus brother versus brother type of thing.
Yeah. I actually wonder if there is in Korea a rivalry between those two, because it's one of those things I just would expect.
Right.
Like Google doesn't even go at Apple anymore. Google's so over that. They're just like, whatever. Yeah. The last we saw that was the Google Plus guy. Now we're just over it. But Apple still to this day does that. Like, this is better than the fastest Android. We just go, dude, we just don't.
You nerds.
Is this just going to be your thing forever, Apple? Like, you're just forever going to be like, har, Android. It's just so childish and stupid. Yeah.
I want LG versus Samsung to be like Ford versus Chevy. Like I want sort of that rivalry. I'm just very curious what it's like in Korea.
I am too. I would love for somebody to let us know.
If anyone's ever been to Korea, let us know what that rivalry is like. It's probably not much of a rivalry. Like Samsung probably just dominates, right? Don't they make up like 50% of that country's like GDP? It's ridiculous.
Maybe the LG and appliances and TVs though is a big deal. They're just not mobile, but
crazy. All right, so we've got our winners. Winners, feel free to email me. I'm going to, as soon as I put in winners, Tim, email me. Y'all, I think, have won before, so you should have no problem getting my email. So, Rashad, Zachary, Jackson, Nick, and Chris, you 5. Email me, and I'll get your sweet wireless charging stand sent out to you via USPS. Because we got to support them. They're going down. They're going down hard. And we got to support USPS.
They might be going down hard. We'll see. Hopefully not. That'd be bad.
Yeah.
That would be bad. All right, sweet.
Well, all right. Good. Excellent.
Once again, we've kind of been on this every other week.
We're liking it.
Show schedule, just until things, maybe one day pick back up. But maybe something crazy will happen next week and there'll be, enough stuff to talk about a show. But, things are just a little pandemic-y right now with news. So, if stuff comes up, we'll ramp it up. Otherwise, every other week. Appreciate you guys joining us for sure.
Absolutely. Shout out to Ewin again for the chairs. Shout out to Nimble for the prizes. You guys rock. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Tim Otato Reacts on YouTube. We're over 1,000 subs, man. Let's go. It's awesome.
I was like, gonna try to shrink. Can't do it.
Ay, caramba.
That's crazy. You're at 1,000 subscribers. That was quick.
Yeah.
No,
I'll be surpassing Droid Life in a matter of years. Don't worry about it.
Purchasers extra special show for the Xperia 1 Mark II launch in the US. Is it ever gonna? Oh, that's like late July. I had one pre-ordered because I haven't talked to Sony in probably 7 years. And then I went, I don't really want this anymore. We'll see, Bertzer. When it gets here, my mind will probably change and I'll probably get one. But
it's not a bad looking phone.
It looks fine, yeah. It's again, I'm sort of feeling like as I'm accepting the idea that I am by no means a power user. It's one of those phones I don't know that I would probably do justice. You know what I mean? Like it's got 17 camera apps with everything manual because they want it to be one of their alpha cameras for the most part. And I just won't play with that stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. Bertzer says
so funny.
iOS. Well, there you go. See, Bertzer, you don't even need me to look at it now because you go on iOS. It has 2 camera apps. Yeah, that's like 5. Same thing.
Bertzer's like probably just wants to hit you so hard and like this.
I know. I'm sure. I deserve it too.
Yeah.
I haven't held a Sony phone since the Xperia Compact 3 or 5.
Man. Well, those were dope little phones.
Maybe it was the 5 Compact was the last one, and that phone it's been a while.
Throat. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Much appreciate. And let's go over the donuts real quick. You got the list, yeah?
Somewhere. I do.
Or I could scroll through the chat.
No, I got it. Yeah, everyone donated. Charles, Sarah, Ryan Kerr, Ben Jacobs, Javi Martinez, Conrad, and No Seeds B. I think that's nice. No Seeds B twice, but yes. Appreciate all those donos, everyone. Yes, thank you for joining us. Again, we'll probably be back in 2 weeks. Let's just say everyone stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Throw that mask on. Help everyone.
Throw
the mask on.
Mask it up.
Say. We'll leave the rest of it to you guys, but wear a mask. Take care of everyone. We'll see you guys soon.
Peace.
Peace.